My name is Aisha Ibrahim. This is Election Brief. Within the next 30 minutes, we have the latest update from the political scene for you. We are live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV, channel 125, and all our social media handles at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is at Denana Aisha. Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants and German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate. Please do stay for details. Technical challenges have characterized the first day of the Electoral Commission's limited voters registration exercise across the country, as there's no activity in the entire northern region. Scores of first-time voters say they are getting frustrated with the delays. We'll be taking you to different parts of the country, but we'll start from the Greater Accra region, where my colleague Sweetie Aboche reports about a disagreement in the Juaboso Central Constituency, as at 11 a.m. registration had not started in some parts of the capital.
We are here at the Juaboso Central Constituency for the limited voter registration exercise, and what you saw on your screens in a bit was an altercation, and one of the people involved explaining that this man I'm standing here with, a security personnel, got involved in some sort of arrangement which brought about the brouhaha. But we want to hear the story from his own mouth as he tells it. Thank you for speaking to us. Exactly what happened that resulted in that fight we saw?
Yeah, we're standing at Juaboso Central. The guys that were supposed to arrange for them to come and get their polling station numbers and the rest. So there was one media guy, TV3, he came, he was captured. He said, so one guy was talking to him that, since you captured it, not that way they were doing some kululu or something like that. That's not the case. But the other guy that came by said, let him do his work. He said, from day one, nobody stopped him from working because media, we are with you. So you have the right to do whatever that you're supposed to do. So the guy captured. So along the way, he started, there was one girl, he went and pulled her hair. And I said, what kind of sort is this? What is it? Already you were here that we talk about this. So I don't see the reason why, as a lady, you being a man, you should go and just pull her hair. So that let me intervene.
So are you a security officer?
No, I'm from the National Security.
National Security, but you're not in uniform today. What are you doing here this morning?
No, we are trying to monitor the situation on the ground.
Okay, so the other guy mentioned that you were taking people into the room there to register, which is not part of your duties here.
So, I was even standing here. They haven't taken anybody. They haven't even climbed even outside. The other TV station, your sister station was here. He was capturing it. So there was one guy over there telling the guy that he shouldn't come and catch. I said, no, leave him. He's a media person. Let's do whatever. I don't know this. Since you people are not doing any ululu or whatever, let him do it. So another guy came and pushed the guy. Once the guy saw, he saw everything. Meanwhile, once the thing was here, you were not seeing anything. You were not even there. But they just give you an indict that you're supposed to come and say, no, you got it wrong. At least come and explain or talk to the media person and see the side of the story.
But as a national security personnel, you are not supposed to be getting involved in brouhahas like this. How do you, as a security official, national security, you should not be involved in...
Involved. It was the guy who used the hand to pull the lady's hair. You being a lady, assuming you were trying to catch her, somebody come and pull your hair. Will I allow Asema for him to pull? That let me come here and say, no, she's a lady. Whatever that she's doing, just talk to her in a nice man. Don't pull her hair.
In the Western North region, Augustin Bo reports that in the Juaboso Constituency, EC officials have turned away 4 applicants for, let's get the details.
No, you also for my performance. You also for I said you didn't come Moses. Moses.
I said, leave everything to me. We'll free. Hey, whoever movie has said, I don't come. Master, you know you are not being invited for yours.
So that's what happened at the Juaboso Constituency. They were turned away because they didn't have proof of residence. Now, Augustin Bo joins us live with updates on the developments in the region. Augustin, can you explain to us the circumstances under which these people were turned away and how the EC officials verified the challenge against the people?
Earlier, before they joined the queue, these political parties, talking about the MPP and the NDC, were agitating as to the proof of the persons eligible to register or have his card. So they came to the issue of officer, Madam Fatima Cantonment. He interrogated, and subsequently, she asked of the persons arrested where he stays. He mentioned that he stays at Juaboso. So she asked of some popular places in the Juaboso township, such as the funeral grounds and other places, but the applicant failed. So obviously, the EC officer got to know that the applicant is not from the district. So she based on that, and she turned his application.
So how is the turnout? I mean, what can you report in terms of turnout for the registration?
This is the first day, but looking at the number of people here to have the voter ID card, I would say it is good, but due to the internet interruption, I must confess that only 24 cards have been printed in the Juaboso districts, 14 for females and then 10 for males.
Right, Augustin Bo is from the Western North region in the Juaboso constituency, reporting on how some people were turned away because they didn't have proof of residence, and also on the turnout. Now, Nana Boache Dankwayadom reports from the Ashanti region that scores of first-time voters are getting frustrated as they say the process is slow because of unstable network.
Region. We are currently at the Ashanti Regional EC head office. The EC head office will be housing 6 constituencies, including Inshaya, so Bantama, Menshia South and Menshia North, with 2 other constituencies added to it. We have first-time voters coming in their numbers to participate in the registration exercise. Earlier on, the EC got hit by some technical challenges affecting the registration process or halting it for about 4 hours. But now we are being told that the technical challenge has been resolved, and so right behind me you can see first-time voters going to their various districts or constituencies to get their voter ID cards. And so we've been told that the the EC has started issuing these cards to these first-time voters. We have to get interactive with these first-time voters who are participating in the voter registration exercise. Today I have this gentleman here with me. What time did you come here?
I came here around 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And have you received anything? Have they spoken to you?
No, we haven't been spoken to us, yes. But we hope that now they have solved the internet connection. So we think that everything is going to go well for us to get our voters ID.
You came here around 8 and it's past, getting closer to 2 or past 2 now. How do you feel? Are you stranded?
Well, you can see that it's not our fault. Because of the internet connection, that's why I bring all this problem. So we think that so far they have started, everything can go well so that we can get our voters ID. So for me, I don't have any problem. So far as the data is ongoing on, we think that everything will go well for us to just start the registration here.
Let me ask you one last thing. Why do you want to participate in this exercise? What drove you to come here to get your voter's ID card?
For me to select the right person to lead this country, that's what makes me to be participating in this exercise for getting my voter's ID, because it is through election that you can elect the right person. So I think that this is my major idea for me to take part in this.
So you want to participate in electing a leader for the country, right?
Of course, of course.
Yeah. You're a student?
Yeah.
And which constituency?
Menchia.
Menchia South or North?
I think South.
Okay, thank you so much. And so that is a first-time voter. He's willing to participate in the December 7th polls. That is why he's in here to register and get his voter's ID card to make sure that come December 7th, he will be part of the those who would make a choice for us in electing a leader. I have this lady here with me. What time did you come here?
I came here somewhere around 10.
At 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then have you received anything? Have they come to you?
No.
They've not taken your particulars?
No, nothing. They just gave me a number. They gave me a number to maybe, I think the number they gave me, they'll be coming for it later. And a man just came here to arrange us according to the numbers they gave us. So we are looking out on them, what they are going to do.
Okay, but then, just as I asked your colleague or your friend here, why did you decide to participate in this voter registration exercise?
This is my first time, and I think I'm ready to vote this year. Yeah, that's why I came to do the voter's ID, so that I can be able to vote for this year's election.
Thank you so much. And so, words of some applicants who are currently here at the EC head office in the Ashanti region. A number of them are here. As I said earlier, there are about 6 constituencies here. Over here we have Menchia South and Menchia North, that is on my right. And then on my left we have Nshayasu and then the Bantama constituency. And you can see a number of applicants, first-time voters coming in their numbers to participate in the registration exercise. These first-time voters, some of them say they are very, very...
Let's head now to the Upper West region. Rafik Salam is our man there. Rafik, and he's joined us. How is the registration going in your region?
The registration exercise in the Upper West region has challenges as we reported earlier, and also from the other regions. Here in the one municipality, we are having 3 registration centers, one at the EC municipal office, and the other 2 are at the Dr. Hilaleman Technical University, and also the SDD UBIT. And so at the one municipal office of the Electoral Commission, they had challenges with the software, and so for close to 4 hours, they were able to register only one person. And so I tried to speak to the EC electoral officer, the person of Ben Alagbulu, who told me that the challenges that are experiencing is countrywide, but the engineers are on it and they are struggling. They are doing everything, try to turn also on 10 to ensure that they have a smooth registration exercise. There have been scores of prospective voters who came to do the registration, and I can count close to about 6 dozen people at the EC office. Majority of them are being first-time voters, and most of them also were from the senior high schools. And so some of the students who got disappointed and frustrated about the system has to be students from the St. Francis Xavier Minor Seminary. Their school is about a half kilometer away from the registration centers. They walk in to the registration center, but for several hours, they were not able to register their names. They have been hopeful that they want to be part of the registration system, and then they want to be part of choosing who should govern this country.
Right, Rafik Salam. What can you say about turnout?
In terms of turnout, as I spoke to you, I spotted close to about 4 dozen prospective voters who were there, and then also I've seen also 2 buses full load of students from the Na Memorial Institute who also came there. And so in terms of numbers, though they are early days yet, when I got there, the numbers were not that encouraging. When I spoke to the EC officer, he told me that these are early days yet, but Ghanaians' attitude of always coming last, and I believe that at least they will be able to have more numbers in the coming days.
Rafik Salam is our man in Wa. He's been monitoring the exercise for us. Let's now go to Asokori Mampong because a lady there has been arrested and accused of attempting double registration at the district EC office. Joseph Obeng reports for Adom TV in the area. He's joined us with more. Joseph, what have you gathered on this development?
Thank you, Sister. As you mentioned it earlier, if you come to Asokori currently, there was a case where a nursing mother was being arrested by the police officers here. And the reason was simple. The officer said this nursing mother was trying to embark on a double registration. So they handed her to the police. But when I spoke to the EC officers, they said they have already given an information out. Say, if you need a replacement of your ID card, there is a scheduled date that you can come for that. But it seems this woman had no idea about the information the officials said they have already given out. So she came here to re-register his card and didn't know what she was doing was a contrary to the law. So the police has escorted her to the police custody of Asokori Mampong. And according to the police woman I spoke to, she said this is just a first offense. And they are doing this to set as a deterrent to others who want to come and register to replace their card, because this exercise is particularly done for the first-time voter registers. So, actually, the mother is in the custody of police at Asokori Mampong, and the investigation is being commenced from there. Actually, if you come here, the turnout is normal. I would say it's almost 50%. As the web challenge was in, they had an internet breakout. So the registration started around exactly 12 p.m. And as I'm speaking, I can emphatically say we have been able to register a number of 20 new voters on the system. So if you come to Asokori Mampong Society where the Aswasi, most of the youth are registering, the everything is peaceful unless the nursing mother who was being arrested because of his case being participating in double registration. So we are following the case, and whatever it will come from that, we will never let our viewers be absent from that.
All right, so that's Joseph Obeng with Adom FM. He's reporting from Asokori, the Asokori Constituency. Let's take a break on election brief. We'll be back with more. Right, so we've been monitoring AC's voters registration exercise that started today. CODEO deployed a number of its observers on the ground for this exercise. I've been joined by National Coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, Albert Kofi Ahin. Grateful for your time. Our reporters captured technical hitches at some centers. We stalled the process in those centers. What has your team observed so far with the exercise?
Aisha. Our team was ready, and by 7:30 a.m., almost about 99% of our observers had all gone to the center. We were permitted by the EC, almost about 96% were permitted, even though some of the accreditation hadn't reached us by then, but they gave us the permission to observe. There were some registration centers in Upper East, Bono, and Ashanti region that were not open at about 10 a.m. in the morning. Some centers are not open by 10 a.m. And this happened in the Upper East, Bono, and Ashanti. And then again, we also had a report of some centers where electricity was a problem. Electricity was a problem, so they were resorting to offline registration. And then the assurance was that anytime the electricity came, they were going to offload and then do the right thing. So it's been quite okay, except for one center in the Volta region, where I think the registration started around 12:30 in the morning, which I think wasn't good enough. I'm sure they had problems with either the materials or maybe electricity or something else might have happened there. So far, it's been not too bad going on smoothly, except that some of the materials, like the machines they have been using, some have been breaking down.
Looking at how the exercise has gone so far, Mr. Ahen, does it give you the indication that the EC has learned something from past events?
Well, you see, sometimes machines can disappoint. And I'm really worried about the fact that some centers had to open around about 12:30, or some were not ready by 7:30 a.m. or whatever. And of course, in that case, you would say that they had not learned their lesson. But generally, you talk about the general percentage, then I think we will give them a tick.
And turnout?
There were a few mishaps, yes.
Okay.
But you would definitely, expect some of these things to occur. Either maybe vehicle breakdowns or whatever. But generally, I think it's fine.
And in terms of turnout, are you satisfied with what you've seen so far?
Yes, not too bad for beginning. Ghanaians normally, I have observed one thing with the registration in this country. People normally don't start early. They don't start early, and when it's getting to the time that we are about to close, then they rush. So maybe it's going to take that trend. And then let's also remember, Aisha, that this is a limited voter registration exercise. Limited in the sense that we are capturing only the newly turned 18, and then those who didn't take part in the last one that we did. So attendance is not going to be. The EC itself is expecting about 630-something thousand people to register. Definitely, we might, exceed this, like it happened the other time. But
right.
Let's see what happens.
Hopefully, it gets better with time and days. Thank you so much, Albert Kofi Ahen, his national coordinator of CODEO. Now, the Economic Fighters League has commended leader of the new force and presidential aspirant Nana Kwame Bediako for his proposal to introduce a single African currency. Speaking on an Accra-based Star FM, he revealed he aims to unite Africa and secure economic freedom for its nation. The Economic Fighters League supports the idea, indicating that a currency used by 1.5 billion people would hold more weight than one used by just 30 million. The statement was signed by fighter Amudani Garba, Office of the Fighter General, and he is joining me via Zoom right now. What difference actually do you expect a single currency to make in times like this, when Ghana and Africa, is struggling to actually feed its population?
Thank you for having me. I think on the issue of the single currency, Ghana, for instance, over the past few years, we've seen our currency perform very badly. In fact, for some time, the cedi was the worst performing currency in the world, and as well as many African currencies. And what happens with the depreciation of our currency is that it drives, record inflation. And when inflation occurs, it eats it into people's purchasing power. So, for instance, last 2 years, when I have 2,000 cedis, what I'll be able to do with that 2,000 cedis, I won't be able to do with it today because of inflation, which is brought partly because of currency depreciation. What we are saying is that when there is a single African currency, one that is backed by gold, and Africa, is the largest producer of gold in the world. What this means is that the currency is going to be strong. I mean, there wouldn't be this issue of inflation every now and then, and people are going to enjoy their incomes and be able to live happy, successful lives. So that is why we find a lot of sense in what Nana Bediako, a leader of the new force, is proposing.
Well, there are many who say, yes, it may be a good idea, but at this critical moment, that's not what we need as Africans and particularly Ghanaians.
I mean, tell me, look, Africans right now, what we need is economic freedom. We had political freedom 60, 50 years ago.
And does it have to start with a single currency? Are there no other things that can easily be done instead of looking for this bigger picture, which may take a longer time to happen?
It will take a longer time because we have people who are dragging their feet, leaders that are dragging their feet. I mean, EU has been able to do it. I mean, the European nations were late in this even unification projects than African countries. They've been able to do it. What's the excuse for African countries? We are creating excuses for ourselves because we have leaders that have no interest in getting a common currency for 1 billion people. So when you ask me, I would say it's one of the easiest things to do. I mean, put the various banks of nations of Africa together and let them work towards such an agenda.
All right. I'm
grateful
for your time. Danny Garba is a freedom fighter. They said you're throwing their weight behind Nana Bediako is an independent candidate. This is your election brief. It's on your election headquarters. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.